everyone, my name is Komsa. In this week's presentation topic, I'll be going on about the Apollo 13. Well, 3 men trapped in space with the famous line of Houston, we have a problem, which is actually a meme right now, but it was a famous line before. And so this is our table of contents. Number 1, before, or really about the crew, who went on the Apollo 13 and what happened before it. And number 2, I'll be going on about an hour of the happenings and problems in the Apollo 13. So before that, to introduce you, Jim Lovell, Fred Haise, and Jack Swigert was the crew of the Apollo 13. So the first moon mission, space mission, was Apollo 11, and people in America, I mean not only in America, in the whole entire wide world, was on their TV with alcohol, partying, and about the landing, and like when Neil Armstrong went on along the lines of like one step. Okay, can you say
one step for man, a leap for mankind.
Yes, everyone was celebrating because they thought it was cool, and also one more line which was like the eagle has landed. Everyone was also happy about this, but until Apollo 13, no one really started to become more interested in Apollo 13. But after the Apollo 13, people were was really excited, and later you'll know why. Excited to know about more space stuff. So 200,000 people came to the ground rumbling experience, but that was like nothing compared to Apollo 11, which was 2 million people who came. And after that, it was like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and the rocket blew up. And here's the crew. I forgot their names. I mean, here's the names, I don't know which one is them. And so I'll start just with the timeline. So, I mean, before that, everyone was going smooth, but some of the crew members dropped the hydrogen tank, but after further inspection, they thought it would be okay. But okay, 5 minutes later, the center engine, which is engine 2, shuts down 2 minutes early, and mathematically calculated, that would mean that the other engines would have to burn 34 more seconds than planned. So 30 hours later, that's a big skip, but everything was still going smooth. The astronauts were more joking around, teasing around and stuff. They were making films and talking to the Capcom guy, which is the captain downstairs, not downstairs, oh my god, on Earth, who is navigating on what they are doing. And, okay, 46 hours later, the crew talks about a problem in the hydrogen tank, which is because someone accidentally dropped it, and they started to change some small routes, but the mission is still in the plan. But so the hydrogen tank started to lower down more than they expected, and before that happened, they warmed up the hydrogen tank so much that the wires, there were like 3 wires, and like one of the wires had a possible chance of breaking apart, like ripping out. But that didn't happen yet in the space station. I mean, in the okay. So 52 hours later, still going smooth. They're traveling at 2,324.4 miles per hour and about 170,000 miles away from Earth. Still, everything is okay. They're cheesing around. Not much problems is happening. Only minor incidents. But then after that, 56 hours later, they hear an explosion. It's like a hammer smashing onto a metal can. They look, and then they start looking at the oxygen tank again, but nothing is okay. I mean, everything is okay until they see gas leaking out of the hatch, and they tell the Capcom guy that they are venting a gas-like thing in space. Now everyone is panicking. 57 hours later, the mission is aborted, and everyone is only thinking about returning home, and they start finding ways to do it because this was not ever planned, and they think about using the LM lifeboat, which is the lunar module. And this has never happened before, so everything not everyone, actually only the relatives of the astronauts hears the news and start to panic. And again, 59 hours later, the crew gets to the lunar module, but they're still thinking about it because the lunar module can really make them, it's cold and it does not have the supplies that they need to use to take a route to Earth. And as I said, the lunar module only has a 45-hour lifetime estimated, and oxygen is not concerned, but food and water is because of the supply they have. And 62 hours later, the crew seems to be in good spirit because they already moved to the lunar module and everything is seeming to be good. And 67 hours later, the news is announced to the president, and he is not furious, but just a little distracted and stressed out. And then he asked to be updated in further things that happen. 68 hours later, press conferences are held by NASA and other news reports explaining what is happening right now. And now everyone there on Earth knows what is happening, and they start to look in the news. 81 hours later, Lovell, which is the captain of the rocket, is talking about food and water again, and decides to only take 1/5 of their average intake. And so 82 hours later, the men are freezing and they're thinking about using their spacesuits, but that would make them too hot. So they just find things to cover up themselves. So 93 hours later, the lunar module is only supposed to have enough supplies for 2 people, but since there are 3 astronauts, it can build up a dangerous amount of CO2 in it. But they decided to already prepare the oxygen tank from the Apollo 13 rocket here. But the thing is, the oxygen tank from the Apollo 13 is a cube, but the oxygen in the lunar module, it's supposed to only keep oxygen tanks that are cylinder-like. So they start getting cardboards and just crafting some stuff with it to store oxygen inside. I'm not sure how they did that, but they probably learned it, and everything is okay now. They already found out the solution for it. 118 hours later, the astronauts have to set up their own procedures, and Lovell is still calculating on how to get there, because no one has ever thought of this, because it's just too and 141 hours later, they're out of water and it's too cold to sleep, and they're waiting for the module to be jettisoned, which is half of the lunar module that is just set down, and that is the top part, the command module, which is more like a cone shape, and they have to release it at the right angle so that they don't hit the ocean like a skipping stone. They have to make it perfectly right to only hit the ocean, but like softly so that they land correctly. But Lovell, the captain, did it correctly, and they landed in the ocean. And welcome home, what the U.S. Navy said, and everyone is safe while they're rescuing them from the ocean. And no one was harmed in this action. Yes. And thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask on you.
What happened to the rocket?
Well, the rocket probably died, okay.
And like, how long did it take from the lunar module from space to Earth to getting rescued?
So when did they get on the lunar module here? 59 hours, and so it was around like 100 hours, like 90 hours something.
How many days is that?
Like 3. 4, almost close.
And it
Oh,
is
sorry.
13 Apollo 13.
Apollo 13, yes.
When have Apollo 14?
It's like next year, I think.
Yeah, something close.
Yes, next year.
Does it have planned yet?
No.
No,
yet.
no, not
We
yet.
haven't been to the moon since Apollo 13.
Yeah, because
Actually, since Apollo 11, because Apollo 13 didn't.
yeah, I didn't land.
Apollo 11. When it land? Apollo.
I'm not sure, but it was
1950
yeah, 19 something.
or something.
So what year is the Apollo first?
Yes, Apollo 11 is the first.
It's the first one.
Why come from 11?
I don't know. It's like COVID-19. Why is it called 19? And I forgot to add the Apollo 13 was like it went out in 1969, around April something. Okay. Thank you. Bye.